Servus and hello. My name is Fireball313 and this is a new episode of Beyond the Game. I'm very excited to talk finally about the Lego Game Boy, but before that I want to rewind time. Wow. When I just hear this, I feel already very nostalgic. Yes. Actually, I have so many awesome memories when I want to talk about the Game Boy, because this handheld was a lifesaver for me, Important to know is that I have a huge family in Germany and in Holland, and my parents visit them quite often. And then, of course, me and my brother, we had to go also, but we didn't allow to take our own toys to them, because it could get broken, stuff like that, So we went there, and there was mostly no kids to play with, So it was always so boring. And when you sit in the car behind your parents and you drive for 3-4 hours, it was always it was definitely not nice. Yeah. And then Nintendo announced the Game Boy, and I was already a huge Nintendo fan. I had an NES, I had a Commodore C64, and of course an Atari 2600. And yeah, and I knew this Game Boy is my solution for my problems, because finally I could be able to take my games with me everywhere I want, Back then in the late 80s, early 90s, we just had some small LCD games, And you could play some basic games, really very limited, but only just one game, And the Game Boy was, at least for us in Germany, the first portable gaming handheld with changeable cartridges. Yeah, so 160 D-Mark did that thing cost. That is, let me think, something like almost 80 euros, something like that. Yeah. And I can tell you actually a funny story about that. I mean, the Game Boy came out and I didn't have the money for this. So, and I remember it was January 1990, and I told my parents I want for Christmas a Game Boy. And my parents said, not a problem. But till Christmas, it was more than 10 months and I couldn't wait. I didn't want to wait. Everybody had already a Game Boy. You saw it everywhere, in the bus, in the school. You saw it on public offices, in waiting rooms. It was crazy, really crazy. There was a huge hype about that, Yeah, so, but I couldn't wait for Christmas. So I started to get a job next to school. I was a paper boy. I helped people in the yard, things like that, to collect money, really to collect money. And then it took me, I don't know, a little bit more than 6 months, and I got my money together. But then there was a problem. You couldn't get any Game Boys in the stores. We went to so many toy stores, electronic stores. That was incredible. We couldn't find, in an area of 80 kilometers, we couldn't find a single Game Boy, me and my mother. And I'm really grateful that my mother went with me from store to store, and I was so disappointed. But we in Germany, we had some kind of old school Amazon, let's call it like that. You had a catalog, a huge thing, and then you could order things, clothes, electronic things, and of course a Game Boy. But the problem was, because there was not so much Game Boy around, so even this company, Quelle was the name of the company, where we ordered the Game Boy. We ordered one, and then I had to wait for 4 weeks. And that was I think the worst 4 weeks of my life. Every day I went to the box office, you know, to the mailbox. Sorry, to my mailbox, and I was hoping I would get my Game Boy earlier. Yeah, but exactly 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, I got my Game Boy finally. Yes, and I was so happy, really so happy, and. This handheld was revolutionary, you know, in so many ways. I mean, yeah, I mean the technology was not really state of the art like the Atari Lynx or the Sega Game Gear, but it was the first step for us for portable gaming, you know. And everywhere where I went, where was a Game Boy, with the connection cable, we could play Tetris with each other, you know. So we started tournaments in school in our private time, and then of course we started to collect all these games, you know. Yeah, so the Game Boy is till this point a very important piece of hardware, you know. And when I look from a video games perspective, of course, Nintendo conquered with this small device the video game market, you know, and this is till this point the most sold portable console till this point, with, I don't know, 152 million, something like that. Yeah, was very successful, you know, and I still love my Game Boy. And by the way, this is still the original Game Boy what I bought in 1990. And if you guys want to know what is about this sticker, I got the sticker from a very close friend back then. And this sticker glows in the dark. So unfortunately, I can show it now, but I really liked her. It was a her, not a he. And so this sticker till this point is on my Game Boy. It's something like, I don't know, he gives me some kind of a charm of luck, let's say it like that. Yeah. So when Lego announced a Lego version, you know, of the Game Boy, I was really psyched. I wanted to have that, you know, and I asked my girlfriend if I can have this as a present because we had an anniversary, and she said, yeah, no problem, I buy you this one. And of course I bought her a present also. Yeah, and so I thought this is a good idea to talk about the Lego Game Boy, you know. So and so that means I will look in detail about with everything what comes with the package, and I give you my comments about that and my ideas. Yes, and later I will give a recommendation. Yeah, so, but let's start first with the box, and this one is quite a long one. Yeah, and just very typical for Lego. It's not really full, you know, with all the bags what you have. This is just full like this, you know, but the box look like that, you know. The product number is 72046. It's an 18 plus thing, of course. Kids could buy that, but they don't have any connection with the Game Boy. And this set has 421 pieces. If you want to build it, actually, you need something like 1 hour. It took me 45 minutes, plus minus. And I was not in a hurry or something. Yeah, so I was just, besides that, I was reading some stuff and listening some music, so that was quite relaxed. So it's not a big thing and really not so complicated. Yeah. Already a complaint from my point of view, but I am a fanboy. Lego put the Lego Game Boy here, and that is okay, and they use even the original logo here. But what would be so nostalgic if they would choose the original package back from 1989. And I can show you guys what I mean. Wait. This one. It would be so cool if they choose the design of the box in the design of this. That would be so awesome, you know. Yeah, but this is a small complaint, you know. If you look at all the, for example, if you buy the NES, Lego NES, it has the same design, you know. So this is typical Lego, yeah, simple Lego design. Okay, it's just the way it is. But you know, this is for fans. This and then I expect a little bit more nostalgic, you know. Yeah, at least this is the front cover. There is the side, looks like that. The back is this, and you will see here already the measurements of the Game Boy is exact the same size like the original Game Boy. Soon we will compare that. And you get the Game Boy with a Standy, and you get 2 cartridges, reversible display screens, and a Standy for a cartridge also. Yes. That is the box. Unfortunately, it's a very cheap box. It's not really, how to say, a big one, you know. So you destroy it basically when you open it like that, you know. It's a real shame. What is nice, Lego still use this paper bags. That is okay, I like that. But I complained about that already in the past. Yes, the outside is paper, the inlay is unfortunately made of plastic. So when it's about recycling, it's a small problem, I think. Yeah. At least you have 5, I think 5, right? Was it 5? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, I think 5 bags. Yes, 5 bags. And that is everything what you have, actually. Wait. So. And then you get these, oh, wait. First I take this Standy. This is the Standy for the cartridge. Here you put, this is a holder for the reversible 3D images, and that is really, really cool. Wait, I want to show this. Shit, I forgot to take this one out. Come on, get out. Come on. Ugh. Okay. Sorry, I forgot to take this out. So this is the Standy. Soon I will place a cartridge on that, and then I put the reversible images. And this is a nice thing. These are 3D images, and I hope you guys can see that. That is the booting screen of the Nintendo Game Boy, and it really moves. That is so cool. When I showed this for the first time, my girlfriend, I mean, she knows the Game Boy also, she was like, oh, that is so awesome, so cool. Yeah, I like that. And of course, I need to do that, unfortunately. Yeah. You get 2 games, cartridges, and 2 screens. One is Super Mario Land, and I hope you guys can see Mario Land is, Super Mario is jumping, and he gets a star. You know, this is the first one, and the second one is a screen from The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Yes, and then you have some movement here, and they're at the beach. He is with his girlfriend. I forgot her name. Sorry, it's a long time ago that I played that. Yes, so and these screens, actually, you can place behind the window of the Game Boy. Soon I want to show that. But the other 2, you can just put here, and it stays in like that. That is nice. So then you get 2 cartridges. And one is Super Mario Bros. The other one is The Legend of Zelda. And here is a complaint also. I don't know if you guys know that, but what was the first title what came originally with the Game Boy? And wait, let me see. No, they didn't show this on the package here. It was, of course, Tetris, you know? So yeah, Super Mario Land was a launch title, and later The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening came. But when everybody thinks about the Game Boy, they think about Tetris, and the other way around. and it's a real bummer that Lego didn't include a Tetris cartridge. And I think I know the reason, because these are Nintendo property. So Lego licensed the Game Boy name, Super Mario Land, and The Legend of Zelda. They didn't want to buy the license for Tetris, because the license of Tetris belongs to the Tetris company. They didn't want to pay this money, so we don't have the original Tetris cartridge in this collection. And that is, yeah, it's a bummer, I must admit. Yeah, at least, and now we can compare the cartridges, because I have both the original cartridges and the cartridges from Lego. And you can see already there is a color difference, you know. And this is not a complaint, this is just what I notice, you know. Yeah, the cartridge of Lego is a little bit thicker than the Game Boy cartridge, and of course a little bit more heavier than here, you know. And what is very interesting, I want to show you the inside of the cartridge, because it looks like that, you know. It's green, black, and gray, golden, and things like that, you know. Yeah, but the back is gray, and very, very important, when I open Zelda, you have the same crazy stuff here with the color things. But when you turn it around, you can see actually here is a green brick. Here not. I don't know what is about, why is it like that, you know? I think it should be gray also, I believe. Especially the back of the Game Boy cartridge is gray. Yes. By the way, the set cost 60 euro if you want to have it brand new, and for 60 euro you get some prints, actually a lot of prints, and you get 2 stickers. Yes, and this is crazy. This is a print here, okay? But this is a sticker. And I don't know why they choose this option, why they didn't print here Super Mario Land and The Legend of Zelda, you know. This is another complaint what I really have, because stickers are a cheap solution, you know. Print is always more expensive, yes, of course. But for the perfect nostalgic feeling, you know, I mean, almost everything has a print now, and soon you will see that. Only here there is no print. I don't get it. I don't understand that, you know. But this is so typical Lego, unfortunately, really. Yes. A nice Easter egg, what I just figured out when I built this together is The Legend of Zelda, originally the cartridge has a battery in it, you know, for the save games. And what is a nice touch also, wait, I need to get this out without killing. You guys can see there is the battery. This is a really nice touch, you know, really nice touch. Yeah. So, and the cartridge, I put this together. Yeah, so where is the Standy? Yes, there it's here. So, and here you have this kind of connections. I don't know how to call this in English. And here you have these two. I hope you guys can see that. And then you place the cartridge, and then it makes, oh shit, no, I broke it. 1 second. I must fix it. Okay, and then it makes cluck. And then you guys can see already, it's here. It's steady. And it looks nice as a presentation, I think. Yes. And of course, the other cartridge you place soon in the Game Boy. So this is okay. So the Standy is okay, you know, with the holder here. Yeah, what is a bummer, of course, is some color difference, you know, inside of the cartridge, and that you have 2 stickers, unfortunately. Yeah. Then you get a Standy for the Game Boy also, you know, very simple, easy to construct. Yeah, and here soon there's a holder, and then you put the Game Boy on top of that. Oh, I forgot about the manual. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit confused today. This is the manual. This is the front cover, and what is a nice touch, the back is the original Game Boy. So you can make a comparison, actually. Yes. And when you open the manual, it's not really big. It has something like 105 pages. Yeah, so like I said, you know, under 1 hour, you will fix that. You know, we will build that up thing. Here, of course, you get the explanation about the Game Boy. And here they show you how you change the reversible screens and 1 second. And the cartridges, yes. What is a very nice touch here, caution, clicking the power switch may result in acute feelings of nostalgia. And actually they are really right, but soon I want to talk about that. Yes. Then you get an image of the original package from the Game Boy and some history about that. Yes. And here they show the Game Boy with all the stuff around that, you know. And here you guys can already see how crazy the Game Boy looks from the inside, you know. It's unbelievable how colorful the Game Boy looks, even if this is a black ink screen. You know, if it would be a Game Boy Color, I would laugh about this joke. But this is with every Lego product. From inside, it looks like a fucking rainbow, you know. And yeah, and I don't like that. You know, this looks cheap for me, that Lego uses already pieces, you know, from old stock, and they put it in an expensive thing. This is how the way this is for me, you know. It's really, I expect that that thing is gray from the inside, gray, black, something like that, but not light green, dark green, yellow, golden, brown, yeah, and red, of course, you know. No, really, really no. Yes, here they talk about the cartridges, and then a small information about Super Mario Land, and I like that, you know. Yeah. And here they talk about The Legend of Zelda. There's no mention about Tetris. You know, Tetris was the main selling thing about the Game Boy. No mention here because of licensing, and I understand that. Yes. And here I think this is the designer, you know, and some images, product images, and then actually you can already start, yeah, like that. It's very, very forward, you know, no big surprises. I think even a small child could build this thing up, you know, no problem at all, I believe. And now let's look at the Lego Game Boy. I removed the 3D images to see a little bit that you can see through the screen. It's really important in the beginning. Later I place this then behind the window. Okay, so yeah, this is basically the Lego Game Boy, and at the first glance it looks quite accurate, I think, but and I don't even, I mean, I have the original Game Boy here on my side. Soon I will show this. But before I do that, let's look at the Game Boy itself, you know, and you can see already some problems. What we have is, we have problems with the color difference here, you know. For example, this gray is lighter than this one. You can really see the different scale, shape of gray, you know. And that is a bummer, especially for a product of this price range. I really expect all the bricks at the same color quality. Yes. What is really, really crazy is the buttons really are really cool. You know, they feel almost the same like the Game Boy. Okay, soon I want to talk about that. Yeah. Then we have this screen here, and already a problem is, I don't know if you guys can see that, my screen has a lot of scratches. That is, yeah, that is really shit. Really, really shit. I'm actually angry, really, you know, there are so many scratches on that. And after my review, I will contact Lego and I want a replacement for that, you know, because the screen was just really just loose inside the box. There was no protection, no nothing, you know, really, really crazy. Yeah. So you have the D-pad, you have the buttons here. These are the speaker, and this is a print. This is not a sticker or something. Everything what you see is a print, and that is cool. Yes, this is a print, this is a print, print, print. But you can really see the different shades of gray, unfortunately, you know. And this Game Boy, later you want to put it on a shelf or something, you know, for presentation, and you can see it already from far away. You know, you can see that, really. I mean, later if you place the 3D images, the scratches will be not so visible. Yeah. The side looks like that. Yeah, and then, yeah. And this is okay. I like the contrast dial, I think it is. Here's the volume dial. Yes, and the back looks like that. And this is a print also, you know. Awesome. So, and this is what I don't understand. They use print, you know, everywhere on the cartridges. But then when it's about the images of the cartridges, they use stickers. Why? I don't get it. Yeah. But when I was building this up, this was quite fascinating, you know, because there was some smart techniques, I thought. What was very, very, especially with the D-pad. For example, the D-pad, you can move. You can really move, you know. It's a smart idea how they solve this, you know, that it's not stiff or something, you know. So you have movement. The same with the buttons, you know. That is really cool. Cool engineering. What is a lazy attempt with the select and the start button? That is so crazy. You can take them out. These are wheels, actually. Just wheels. You can take them out like that. There's nothing what holds the buttons or the wheels inside the Game Boy. It's just like that, you know. I mean, they will not fall off, but it would be nice if they had some kind of mechanism from inside, because you have a hole. You can place a holder there. You know, this was possible actually, but Lego went the easy way in the case of that. You know, that is very, very lazy. Yes, and now we make comparison between the original Game Boy and the Lego Game Boy. And yes, the weight, of course, is a thing, but this is not. I don't want to talk about the weight. I want to talk about the accuracy, you know, the attention to detail. And yeah, you can already, guys, see the color of the Game Boy. The gray color is darker than here, you know, and you can really now see even the comparison of the quality with the shades of gray, you know. Of course, the D-pad, it's a shame that you have these knobs on top, you know. I think it would be nicer if it's smooth like here, but I don't want to complain about that. It feels almost like the original Game Boy, I admit. What they really, really hit perfectly is this. It's almost the same feel, only the color difference. This red or magenta, I think, is brighter than here on the Game Boy. Yes. What they do is, because here, you know, you have this kind of edge, you know, and here you have this also, you know, this is quite accurate. Yes, this is what I like. Then when we talk about the shape of the screen, yeah, it's almost the same also. What is so cool, that is really cool, here is the switch to turn it on, okay? And when you feel this, oh, it's almost the same like this. You know, that is really, really, it's even a little bit more straight, you know, but I like it. It simulates the original button quite well from this feeling, if you understand what I mean. Yeah, but there's already a complaint about that also. Everybody knows when you turn, you have a lock mechanism for the cartridge when you turn this on. That means when you turn the Game Boy on, you see this locks here in, so the cartridge can be removed, okay? And now I want to show it here on the Lego Game Boy. There's nothing. There's nothing. And I believe even it would be possible to get something like that. So this is just from my point of view, a lazy solution. They didn't include that, so they just made the switch and not this lock here also, you know, to save money, to save the cost. I don't know. Or maybe they forgot about that. I don't know. Another thing of detail, what I really, really miss is you have a groove here. And the groove goes like here. You accessory use this groove actually. You don't have this here on the Lego Game Boy. Yeah, you could call this as a groove, but I don't call it like that because you really have here a distance. You know what I mean? Here, I mean there's the print, you know, the on-off stuff. Then you have this groove. Then there is the case of the Game Boy, and then we have the screen. Here it is different. You know. This is a small complaint. Small complaint. Yes. Then the side. Let me do it like that. No, wait. I do it other way around. Is okay. What I just miss is, of course, this explanation should be here. You know, and they didn't include it. I don't know why. Of course, the groove here. It's not included there also. Yeah, and the power source, I mean the socket for the power source is okay. You know, no complaint about that. Yes, when we look on the bottom, I would say it's okay. I mean, you have, of course, color variations, yeah. The other side with the volume knob, it's okay. It feels a little bit, no, wait. No, it's almost the same, almost, yes. And here with the connector cap, I don't know how to call that thing. Yeah, it's okay. It's really okay. The back looks like that, and you can feel this, of course, here. And here you have that also. Yeah. So, of course, yeah, what is missed also here on the back is, and this is what kind of model this is, and the Nintendo copyrights, things like that, you know. But this is a minor complaint, yes. So, and now I show you guys how this works with this reversible background, you know, this 3D images actually. Like I said, the Game Boy looks like that from the back, and then you remove this plate, you know, and then you have this switch or this mechanism, and then you place the image there, and you do like that. And then you have, oh wait, yes. And yeah, if you compare that, the screen here, I mean this real screen is closer to the window here on the Game Boy. Here you see there's a real gap actually, but I don't complain about that, you know. This is just a detail what I notice, what I just noticed. So, but this is okay, let's say it like that. Yeah. And of course you can put a Game Boy game here in, and wait, first I want to show you this, guys, with this. When you place it in, there's a certain feel, you know, it's like cluck. So you use force to get the cartridge in the connection, and here they try to mimic that. It's not the same, but they try to emulate this, you know. Nice touch. And yeah, the cartridge goes a little bit lower, you know. If you can compare it with, you can see that, you know, but these are really just millimeters. I don't want to complain about that in this case, you know. And yeah, and then you take the Game Boy game out. And of course, if you want to change the background, of course, you can always do that, you know. Then you must remove the cartridge, remove this plate, and then you can get this thing out. Yeah, that is basically, and then, wait, very important, you have the Standy, and here is the connection for the headphone. And then the Game Boy rests here on this thing, and it's quite steady, and that is okay. And then you have this kind of presentation. That's nice, but I see it already because I look through the screen, you know. I can see all the different shades of gray, you know, and this makes me really crazy, really, really crazy, you know. This is the biggest complaint, besides that my screen has a lot of scratches, you know, really. Yeah, so the question is now, I mean, this is the full set. You get 2 cartridges, you get the Game Boy, you get 2 Standys and the 3D images. Is it worth 60 euro? No. It's, I think, really expensive. I think 45 euro, 40 euro would be really appropriate price. I think I am for 70% happy with the final product. You know, I told you guys already about what I don't like this screen, you know, really scratches. The different color shades here, the select and the start button, that you don't have a print on The Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Land. Yeah, and then these small little details, you know. Yeah. Do I recommend? The question is, do I recommend to buy it for 60 euro? No. If let's say, I would wait for a discount, you know. If you a discount, sorry. If you find this for, I don't know, 40 euro, then I really would just grab that thing. I mean, the release was October. That thing just went out of the store, and of course, all the fanboys paid 60 euros. I mean, it's this product is basically made for the fanboys, you know. And yeah, and compared with the other Lego products, it's not 100 plus or something, you know. When they announced that, I was really thinking, wait, you know, you must pay something like $120 or something, €1. And so I was quite surprised that it was just 60 euro, you know, but it's still expensive from the amount what you get. Yeah, and yeah, but I will put this on my shelf, but later I will contact Lego for replacing my window screen. Yeah. But before I want to finish this video, I want to show you guys something what I completely forgot, you know. When I had my, wait, every Game Boy came, of course, with a plastic case, right? And these are some of my Game Boy games, you know. And of course, I had a travel pack with my games and the Game Boy and a lot of batteries, you know. And when I gave this to a friend or something, I placed an own manual even on these cartridges, and I want to show this to you guys. This is Gargoyle's Quest. This has a password system. So what did I do actually is I tried to emulate the logo, and then I explained what the button A and B does. And when you move to the next page, then you see all the passwords of the game. So yeah, and I did this for all my Game Boy games. This is so funny, you know. I really forgot that. This is my drawing from Mystic Quest, you know. This is a sword. It doesn't look like that, but this is a sword, you know. Yeah, and this is the Mystic Quest logo. So the button A uses the weapon, and the button B is magic and doing things. And when I move to page 2, here's the explanation. What kind of weapons do you collect and what kind of magic? Yeah. So, and here, for example, I have Zelda. And with Zelda, it's not really good logo. It's actually nothing, you know, because it doesn't have a password system, just, how to say, it has battery. And I can show you even the logo of Tetris, what I made. Looks really ridiculous, you know, but yeah, but I really love that, you know, to do that for all my Game Boy games, you know, and I have a lot of them. Yes. So, and that's the end of this video. If you guys like my content, give me a thumbs up or subscribe. See you next time, guys, and don't forget to support your local video game store. Servus.